Hey guys, what is going on? It is RC Knockout and I am back with another video. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Nolan and in today's video I am going to be installing the Proline extended body mount system onto my Traxxas Slash 4x4. Now, I already have this same body mount system on my Traxxas Slash 2-wheel drive, aka the cheapest Traxxas Slash project. I love it. It's awesome because you don't have to deal with body clips anymore. It just has these little threaded nuts. And they thread down onto a grub screw that you thread on top of the post for the body mount. And it's just so much easier than dealing with pins. You don't have to worry about them falling off or slipping out. So I loved them so much on the Traxxas Slash 2-wheel drive that I decided to go ahead and buy the 4-wheel drive version, which is slightly different. You do have to get the one for the 4-wheel drive. It is different than the 2-wheel drive because the shock towers are different. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead, rip this open, and we're going to put this on my Traxxas Slash 4x4. Also, guys, by the way, if you're wondering what the part number is, it is part number 6087-00. So let me go ahead and bring the camera a little bit closer, and we're going to jump right in this installation. Alright, guys, now that I have the camera a little bit closer, you can take a closer look at what comes in the kit right here. I know from the previous experience with the last set that I got for the Traxxas Slash 2-wheel drive, it does not come with directions. As you guys can see, it's a clear bag. There's no directions in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the RC out of the way. We're going to go ahead and rip it open real quick and see what the contents inside are. Alright. So it looks like we have a parts tree right here. This is going to be the upper part of the mounts. This right here is going to be the body post. I still don't know what this piece is. I had this piece on my 2-wheel drive one. I could never figure out what it's for. Not sure. And then you got the miscellaneous screws, O-rings, and the body nuts that hold the body down. And you will need some type of tool to cut these off the parts tree. So I'm just going to have a little cutter like this. And just going to go ahead and snip them off. Alright guys, and we got everything off the parts tree. We can go ahead and pull the body off of the Traxxas Slash 4x4. The issue I've been having is the pins come through the body anyway. I've had the pins cracking through the body, and gosh, if I could get it off. I've had the pins cracking through the body on the back, and then they end up cracking right through the body and pulling through. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my finger's coming through there. It does that, especially on this side, but it seems to happen on the back after hard impacts. So that's not good. So that's another reason why I wanted to ditch the traditional body mounting system. Let's see. I think it's just going to be literally, guys, as simple as swapping out these screws right here. So the two here, and then the two back here, and then swapping these new ones on, and then getting the post adjusted to the right height, and installing the O-rings and the screws, and I think that's basically going to be all that it's going to take to install this. Alrighty, I repositioned the camera so you guys can see a little bit better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the 2 screws on the back and the 2 screws on the front, and those all should be 2mm, so let me find my 2mm. Is it? Yep. Got my 2mm right here, and we're just going to go ahead and buzz these off real quick. Alright. And since this is off, I've got to figure out which one's the back one, which one's the front one. On this, these look identical, I believe. Let's see if there's any labeling on them, because I don't want to get it wrong. So looking at both of these, they look the same. I'm not seeing anything on them that says one is the front or one's for the back. So I think these are universal, guys. Because as you guys can see, back to back, they're identical. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I think it'll be easier to adjust the body on this because I'll just base it off of where the body posts are on the original body posts. So if I put this like this, these should be the ones that go in the back right here. And they slip right through here. But first things first, let's just go ahead and get this new one screwed on. I'm going to retain the stock ones. So we're just going to put it right in place of where the other one was taken off. Grab one of our 2mm, right, so you guys can see, and go ahead and get that screwed down. Alright, got the other 2mm right here, and go ahead and do the exact same thing on this side. Make sure they're snug, and they're both snug. And then the exact same thing can be done for the front. So I'll just go ahead and take the front ones off real quick. Those are also 2 millimeters. Right, guys, that's nice and snug, and now we have got the front one on. Now we need to mess with the body posts and get those adjusted to the proper height so the body looks right and it has the right stance and the right height when we put it on the RC. So that's the next thing I got to do. So what I'm going to do for this next part is I'm just going to base the height off of the ones we took off. So these are the ones I took off the front and the rear, and I'm just going to go, since these look to be about the same height, I'm just going to try to get these new mounts, or these new body posts I should say, set to the same height. And the thing I noticed on my two-wheel drive, and keep this in mind guys, when you install this, there's a ton of different adjustment holes on this post. The rear post especially are much longer than the front post. And the issue I had on my two-wheel drive Slash, when I was driving it, what was happening is this post stuck down so far because of where I had the body mounted that it was getting caught in between the drive shaft and the camber link. So it was getting like wedged in there. So I ended up having to cut it. So I ended up cutting it underneath, so there's no way with it, because it was when the suspension was compressing, it was going down, because you guys can see how far down this sticks. And that's going to do the same thing on this thing. Let's see, we want it to sit, I'm going to call that good. Now we need these screws. Oh yeah, these are the screws. I was wondering what these screws were for. I totally forgot. These are the ones that actually go in. And which side? I think they come in from the back side. Yeah. They're going to come in from this side. We've got to line the holes up. Can't tell if that's threading in. I think it is. Also guys, if you're liking this video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not. And hit the notification bell so then you'll be notified when I do come out with new videos, because obviously there's going to be testing with this and more upgrades to come. Alright. So yeah, you guys can see the issue I'm having. I think it's because, I don't know why these rear ones are so long, but I guess it's if you want to run like a monster truck type body. So like if you have like the big 2.8 inch tires on your Slash, I suppose these body posts are that long, so if you wanted to mount a monster truck body up higher, where it'll clear the tires, that's probably what it's for. But for me, I'm never going to do that, so I'm going to cut it. And actually I need a bigger cutter than that. Bring out my big boy cutters right here. And I'm just going to count down. I'm just going to leave 4 screw holes underneath. And that's what I'm going to do. And I just cut that piece off. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this side, guys. I'm going to try to get it in the exact same hole. That's what she said. And let's see, what number is that in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's probably in number 6. So let's see if I can get this to the exact same one. Is that right? No. Grab my 2 millimeter. Alright guys, and that should be very similar height to the stock one that I took off. Maybe slightly higher, which I think is going to be fine. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side where I'm going to count down 4 holes and cut it. Just in case if I do want to adjust it up for some reason, it'll give me a little bit of adjustability, but I'm not going to have a ton. But I'm also not going to have to deal with the issue where when the suspension compresses, I don't have to worry about these coming in contact with the suspension link or the drive shaft, which is the issue I was having on the two-wheel drive. I couldn't figure out why. It literally, what was happening when I was racing on the track was getting caught in between the drive shaft and the camber link, and it was when I was coming off of jumps. And then after a while driving, it'd come back up, and that's when I realized it was getting caught in there. So, all right, so we got that, guys. And now what we need to do, we have these threaded grub screws right here. So we're gonna thread these grub screws right here into the top of the post. And those, I believe, are 2mm. And just go ahead, get those screwed down. You kind of differs. I think it kind of comes down to preference, how much thread you want to show. Depends on how many turns you want to have, how many times you want to turn the nut to screw it down onto the body. So I think that might be sufficient. I might actually want to loosen it a little bit and have a little bit more thread showing. Maybe something like that. And then one of these O-rings right here, you then go ahead and slip one of these O-rings over, if I can get it, slip one of these O-rings over the grub screw. And I'll do the same thing on this side, and then we're going to jump to the front, guys. Alright guys, I am finished. I got the mounts all on. I think I got the body set to a good height. I'll just go ahead and show you the end result. Go ahead, I already put the little nuts on. So the little nuts look like this right here, and they have the little PL for, I think that's PL, yeah, PL for Proline, initialed on the top of the little nuts, and there are threads within those nuts. And get them off the back. And yeah, it's just so much simpler than using body clips. All right, got all four off. And yep, this is basically all you're doing. What you're doing is you're basically screwing this threaded nut onto the grub screw that has threads on it. And that tightens down on the body. It's as simple as that. Just do that 4 times. And then you got the body on. So if you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos in the future. I did go ahead and I lowered the front ones a tiny bit more so the stance of the body was right. I also went ahead and I unthreaded the grub screws out a little bit more. So I probably unthreaded them to where they're about a little under halfway. About half of it is threaded in the grub screw because I wasn't having enough grub screws sticking out where I could start spinning on the nut. So I threaded them out a little bit more. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys in another video. Later.